Every time I travel abroad, I always see life in new ways. And that's the beauty of travel, right? Because people in each country think, act, and live differently than they do in the US. And so it's only natural to talk about those differences and share your perspective with your friends and the people you meet along the way. So in this post, I wanted to give you a useful phrase to help you put your thoughts together quickly and easily. For example, I think people in China are really free-spirited. They do what they want, and they're not embarrassed by speaking out and expressing themselves. I like that. So I say, I like how Chinese people express themselves. And that's the same as saying, I like the way Chinese people express themselves. Another example is, I don't like the economy in Spain because it's hard for young men and women to find jobs. So I say, I don't like how it's hard for young people in Spain to find jobs. Again, that's the same as saying, I don't like the way it's hard for people in Spain to find jobs. I like how is the same as saying, I like the way. So you see, this really is a really useful phrase. Now let me show you how to talk about your experiences in different countries. In Prague, for example, I like the way they have a beer garden that looks over the Vltava River. I like the way you can sit there and relax, but I don't like the way they eat so much fried food. In London, I like the way the trains make it easy for you to get around, but I don't like how expensive everything is. In Japan, I like the way everyone is so polite. I like how safe the streets are, but I don't like the way people always have to make decisions as a group. So how about you? Take a moment today to write about your travel experiences. What do you remember about the food, the people, the sights and sounds, or business culture on your last trip? And now, here's how you use this phrase in a social situation. Let's say you're visiting America for the first time and you see something funny, something that's different from what you're used to back home. This could be something positive or something negative, of course. And in this case, you can say, back in my country, we and then explain the difference. And then follow up with, but I like the way For example, when I came back to the US after living in Japan for 8 years, my mom took me to Costco. This is a gigantic warehouse where they sell everything in bulk. If you like pizza, for example, you can buy a 6-pack of pizzas. If you like oranges, you can buy a 40-pound box of oranges, etc. So when we walked inside, I was immediately shocked with the difference between shopping in the US compared to Japan. So I said, you know, back in Japan, everything is so much smaller. But I like the way you can buy in bulk here, so you only have to go shopping once a month. You see how that works? So spend a little time writing about your experiences and first impressions on your last vacation abroad using I like how and I like the way. This is such a useful phrase for sharing your perspective on things and, sharing your experiences. And the next time you're at someone's house, you can even use this to compliment your host. You can say, hey, I really like the way you cook. Why, thank you. And there you go. You're having a great conversation. All right, until next week, if you have any questions, any other things you wanted to learn, any social situations, be sure to drop me a line, and I will see you next week. Bye now.